Public administration is really so it won't just be management. It won't just be efficiency. It's also going to be transparency and constitutional democracy. So that's what makes it interesting. What I always explain this as building better bureaucrats. You're going to have them whether you like it or not. We make them better. Theodore Lowy was sort of Mr. American Government in the late 1960s and early 1970s. I don't know why, but Lowy liked me for some reason. And there's nothing in my entire career more important than a little exchange we had at the American Political Science Association annual meeting. I was just newly minted PhD. And Lowy said hi. I think he actually read my name tag. Hi. And he said, "Hey, Rosenbloom, what are you doing? Peddling your manuscript." And I thought for a moment, I said, no, what am I supposed to be doing that? And he looked at me like I was totally clueless. He said, yeah, that's what this is about. You gotta see if anybody wants to publish a PhD dissertation. And he told me, write up a prospectus and take it around to the different publishers. So I made it was about a 7-page prospectus. I took it to Cornell University Press, where the editor said, send me the manuscript, which I did. So now I met Lowy, 4-minute conversation, and I got a book coming out with Cornell University Press. The book is called Federal Service and the Constitution. It's a history of the constitutional rights of federal employees from the founding period up until the late 1960s. And what it shows is when the concept of what a public administrator is changes, the constitutional law subsequently changes to adapt to that. The book then comes out in 1971. In 1973, I get the world's worst review. I mean, this is unbelievable. American Political Science Review. This is a career-killing review. The review was written by a guy named Harry Wellington, who happened to be dean of the Yale Law School. And he says, it's accurate, it's well-written, and completely useless to everybody. And that was really quite devastating. 3 years later, though, the Supreme Court used the book in a case called Elrod versus Burns. If anybody wants the citation, 427 U.S. 347, 1976. They used the book as authority for a case which decided that patronage or political partisan dismissals from ordinary civil service jobs are unconstitutional. It's an important case, and it's dead center of public administration. Sort of side note, I got a copy of the case and circled all the Rosenbloom source of this and source of that. And this is on both sides of the case. And I sent it to Harry Wellington with all the circles. Okay, a little bit of justice there. But the main thing that happened with this is that the field took note. People who study public administration can connect it to constitutional law and can connect a constitutional decision to what it means for public administration. And also that constitutions matter. It sounds so simple now, but it was not the case in the 1970s that the field recognized this. Just that brief conversation with Lowy meant almost everything to my career. You come right down to it. I mean, it's extremely important. For me, what I like to tell students to do is, if somebody asks you to write a chapter or give a talk at some meeting, unless you absolutely can't do it, say yes. Just say yes. Because once you start saying no, people don't ask. I taught in Tel Aviv 1971 to 73. Israel's official languages were Hebrew and Arabic. Third language could have been French or English. So first year I taught in English. That was not real satisfactory. So I kind of dedicated myself to learning Hebrew. Second year, I said, I'm going to do this. I feel bad for the students, but I'm really going to do this. By the end of the academic year, I was fluent, pretty good. And what I realized was, in terms of communication, you find a level that works. And I had a low level in Hebrew, but it was working. Also, I got much more relaxed in the classroom because it was funny. I mean, I made a lot of mistakes. A lot of using the wrong word and having a wrong connotation and whatever. A lot of that was going on. And so, but anyway, it was relaxing and the students were very tolerant. It really built my confidence. I mean, I really learned to teach by teaching another language. I'm sort of known for public administration and constitutionalism and law. But the other thing I'm known for is called three competing perspectives model. Management, politics/policy, and law. So public administration, in the way I see it, is based on those three major areas. I was still in Syracuse, this is 1982, and I used to run 7 miles, and around mile 6, this thing just hit me out of the blue. You could just arrange the entire field in these 3 buckets, or 3 clusters, or 3 perspectives. I went home, ran up to my typewriter, and wrote a first draft and sent it to Public Administration Review, which was the leading journal. About 6 weeks later, they accepted it, and it's published in 1983. That's had a major impact. It was picked up and included in a book called Classics of Public Administration, which if PhD students have anything in common, it would be that book. I mean, that's it. 1986, the book appeared, and it's Public Administration, Understanding Management, Politics, and Law in the Public Sector. It's used worldwide. It became the central textbook in all the MPA programs in China. First in English, but then in translation. But it's really used and cited all over the world. I think I contributed quite a bit to developing public law, constitutional law, and administrative law, which is the regulatory law of public administration itself, as a subfield of public administration. Personally, my legacy is 4 daughters and 1 son, 3 grandsons and 2 granddaughters. Intellectually, the legacy is likely to be the 3 perspectives model and the public administration and law. And some of it will be enduring because the constitutional law doesn't change that quickly. What will I miss? Probably miss the academic environment, which is where I've been for over 50 years. People sometimes say to me after I give a talk, this guy's too academic. I was born at NYU Medical Center. I'm born in a university. Of course I'm too academic. I mean, it doesn't bother me. Once at the University of Chicago, a student asked a renowned professor, isn't it academic? And the guy just said, is there a better place? I mean, I like academics. I'm going to miss it.